Welcome back, everyone. So into today's sessions, we're going to be also looking to how to build your brand and apply for jobs, right? So the topics that we're going to be looking at, how to manage your digital footprint and social profiles, how to write a professional CV, and then how to draft or craft cover letters. Let us get on it. So on the chat box, I want you to tell me which social media channels do you currently use? Which social media channels do you currently use? Please tell me on the chat box. Now, let us look at how to make digital footprint and social profiles. Also, I want you to tell me, what do you think your digital footprint is? What do you think a digital footprint is? Okay, let us move further. So a digital footprint is all the stuff that you leave behind as you use the internet, right? So a digital footprint is all the stuff that you leave behind as you use the internet. Can be either you are logging to Facebook, the likes that you leave there, the photos that you put there, that is your footprint, right? It's either you applying for, not applying even on WhatsApp, the messages that you leave there, the profile pics, that is your footprint, right? So a digital footprint is a part of your online history and can be potentially been seen by other people. So digital footprint is more of a history, an online history that you have while you search online, right? So how do we leave a footprint? We leave footprint via social media. As I've said, it can be through the likes, the retweets when you're using Twitter, the comments that you leave on record. Make sure that you adjust your private settings on social media. So the privacy is very important when you are on social media. Also, using digital devices. Some apps and websites that collect information about your login and the habits. I'm just going to make an example. Let us say maybe you're logging in using maybe let us say you are in an internet cafe. So it is important when you're in an internet cafe that you sign in. Let us say maybe you want to access your emails, you sign in and make sure that you sign out so that another person that gets into the laptop that you are using doesn't have the access to your information. So that is why you need to have a privacy settings, right, on whatever that you may be using on the devices rather. Right, so let us look at another way that you can leave a digital footprint. It can be through online shopping. Retailers and product review sites often leave cookies on your system which track your activity and allow targeted advertising of products you recently viewed. So let us say you want to shop online. Before you shop a specific item, you're going to be looking at the reviews. So the reviews are regarded as the digital footprint. Move along. So I want you to tell me what comes up when you search your name on search engine. I want you to tell me on the comment section what comes up when you search your name on a search engine. Remember that the search engine is a tool that allows you to have access to a whole lot of information that you might be interested into. So what comes up when you search your name on search engine? Let me just go to the comment section. Okay, thank you so much, Gaba, for welcoming everyone. And thank you, Heidi. You use Facebook. Thank you so much. Now, let us go further. 70% of employers rather, they use social media to screen candidates during the hiring process, right? So it's very crucial that when you post things on social media, you post things that they may represent you as an individual. You don't want to post your pics when you are going out, maybe to have fun, probably maybe you're drinking, because that actually limits the chances of being employed. So some companies, they actually, track the social media platform that you use. So it is very important that you leave a good footprint on the platforms that you may be using. Right? So how employers use social media? They use it for likes, retweets, and comments, leave a record. They make sure that you adjust your private settings, as I've said. You need to also ensure that you have a professional online personal brand. And also 34%, they also check what other people are posting about the candidates. So it is very important that you've got a beautiful and a professional digital footprint, So because some companies, they also use that to check what other people are posting about the candidates. So how to manage your digital footprint? You may like to clean up the content. If maybe there's a content that you're not happy about that is on the social media platforms, you can actually clean it by deleting some stuff. You can think before you click, right? And also you can also update your privacy. You can also analyze your current footprint, and you need to stay positive. You need to post positive content, right? So that they don't expose you, because some employers are actually navigating through the social media platforms, right? So how to change your privacy? You will log in. This is an example that is made here by Facebook platform. So you log into your Facebook, then you go to privacy, and then you're gonna go to activities. You are able to edit who can use your future points. Also, you can also look at how people can find and contact you. So these are the things that you need to set if you really want to make a good footprint. And then how to change your private setting on Twitter. You go to Twitter, you go to settings. You might want to go to private and safety, whereby you protect your tweets so that they cannot be seen by anyone. Or you can also do a quality filter and show read recipients, right? Now, how to access LinkedIn? You can go to Google Play, and then you go to App Store. This is the link that you can be able to access LinkedIn. Remember that LinkedIn is one of the platforms whereby you can use for the employment. It's either you wanna look for industries that may be suitable for you, and then you post your CV, then you are able to connect with other people that fall under that sector or industry, right? And then now, how to create a professional profile. So LinkedIn is a social media network that focuses on professional networking and a career development. So you need to have a profile of experience. You need to share that. You need to, it also allows you to have a network within the people that they may fall under the same sector. You can be able to share the content, and you can be able to apply and explore this thing, right? So how to create your professional profile? We've got headlines. This is whereby it's a point of impression, right? It includes a clear profile picture of yourself and the summary of your experiences. So you really want to appear so professional on the net, or whoever wants to search you. So you need to make sure that the picture is professional, and the experiences or the summary of your experiences should be included, right, when you create your LinkedIn account. So also, we need to know about your about. You need to indicate about 100 words to talk about your experiences inside and out of your work, success stories, and professional goals. Also, you need to indicate your experiences, add professional experience, your role, your employment type, company, and location, and also date. So these are the things that you need to include when you are creating your professional profile in LinkedIn. Right? So how do you make connection? You make connection by growing your contacts and connect with potential leads with instant message. So you make important business connection, or you can also join professional groups of like-minded individuals. You know, as I've said that LinkedIn, you are able to connect with people, right? So you are able to join the professional group of like-minded individuals. Right, so we've got do's and don'ts, right? So you can post the content regularly, you can keep it professional, you can nurture the relationships, you can have a professional headshot, right? So, and then these are the things that you don't have to do when you're sharing on professional media, social media. So you don't have to post irrelevant messages. As I've said, you don't want your pics of you having fun anywhere to be posted on your professional social media platform. So you need, you don't have to criticize others and be negative. That is not allowed. And then you are not allowed to send messages with, I have viewed my profile, and you are not allowed to post personal content because this is a professional social media platform. Right? So sharing the content. Content matters, it does. So you share useful insight and perspective based on your knowledge and observations. And then you can also use relevant hashtags, like you use hash to indicate what your post is about. And hashtags are researchable and make your post discoverable, right? So you can also make it visual by posting images or videos, draw people and bring life into your post, right? So the pictures and the videos, they bring life to whatever post that you might post, right, when you're sharing the content. Also, you can start or join conversation. You can drive to conversation with your network by asking questions and sharing a point of view, right? Now, let us look at this. They're asking us, what is wrong? Okay, we've got Joe Soap is saying he's so happy to listening to T4 while pretending to work. Right, now the comment from Boss says, this is a nice status update. How stupid can you? You can fool, but you can fool me, but when you act in total disrespect to all and hard work, people abuse the environment, then you have crossed the line. As I've said, that it is important that you don't post negative comments on the professional media platforms, right? And then we've got another one from Jane. And then, I love when I can hear my boss talking on the phone at work. As long as I can hear her on the phone, I know it means she's not going to sneak up behind me and see how many web browsers I've opened, right? So the response from the boss says, I love when my employees post things like this on LinkedIn. I will need to see you in my office at 4, right? And then now I'm just gonna pause for the questions. Any inputs that you might have, post them on the comments section. Thank you, Andiswa. We can drop your questions, guys. Any answer is right. There is no wrong answer. All right. While you're still posting your questions, let us move to how to write a professional CV. You want to appear professional to the employees, so you need to write a professional CV, right? So I want you to tell me on the chat box, what information should you include in your CV? What information that you may include in your CV can be your personal information, your name, surname, location. You want to include your experience. You want to include your achievements. So those are the things that you may like to include in your CV, right? So let us look at them further. Building your CV, you will need to provide your personal information, your full name, contact information, header. You can also like to include your experience, work experience, academic history and achievements, as I've mentioned. Also, you would like to include your strengths. So it's important that you know your strengths. So personal skills, what are your soft skills? And then you may also want to include your hobbies and interests. So the hobbies and interests can be the activities and passion which add value to your profile, and they must not be more than 5. So these are the things that you may like to include on your CV. Right. What is personal information? Personal information is all about you, who you are. So the personal information may include your general name, the general, of which can be your name, your address. You can also add another information, can be the age, nationality, a driving license if you have one, or a learner's license if you have one, right? Now, you can also want to include ways to contact you. What is your cell phone number and the emails, so that you can get feedback to the employers once you have applied, right? So what is experience? What did you do? Let us say you have worked as the librarian. What experiences that you may include in your CV, you know? And what did you achieve? Is there any certificate that you have achieved? Indicate on the CV. How does this relate to the role, right? So as I've said, that it is important to apply for the right role. So let us move to the next slide. Now, let us look at how to translate experience to strengths. We need a tangible experience, a human experiences in work, education, or life. So when we look at tangible experience, you must be able to provide the experiences that you have human in work, in education, or in life, right? We also need to look at reflection, consider what you did well and how it can be applied in other roles. So you may want to include that in your CV as well. And you need to look at the transferable skills. This can be a soft skills or hard skills, from a teamwork to data analysis. They all contribute to strong professional profile. So these are the things that you need to include on your CV when you're translating the experience to your strengths. Let us move to the next slide. Okay. Okay, let me just go back to the comments. I see Heidi saying no questions or comments from my group. Thank you. Right. Now, I want you to tell me on the comment section, what are your top 3 strengths and why? Okay, let me just think about mine. My strengths, I think my strengths, I'm a very diligent person. That is my strength, because why? I always make sure that I get the job done and I put a lot of passion in it. So I want you to tell me, what are your strengths and why do you think these are your strengths, right? So let us move to creating a CV with Google Docs, right? Now, create a CV with Google Docs. You need to download Google Docs, use CV templates. There are several CV templates that are available online, you know. So you need to enter the information into the template, and then you would want to save the document as a PDF, and you want to also make copies for various applications. So you don't actually need to create yourself. There are platforms online that can help you to use their templates already created for you, and then you just need to fill the information, and then you save, and then you apply to relevant companies, right? So how to create a digital CV on a mobile phone. You use Google Doc app, of which is one of the apps for for Google to create a CV mobile. So you will need to create or select a template, as is it shown here, and then like also to edit. You would like to add your relevant information, and then you also want to save and export to PDF. I'm gonna pause for questions. If you've got any questions, comments, Terence is gonna be there on a chat section. Feel free, guys. All right, I'm just gonna give you some time. If it is clear, you can just write clear or no questions. Okay, now let us move further to the next topic. Now, how to craft a cover letter, right? How to craft a cover letter. I want you to tell me, guys, what do we use a cover letter for? What do you think is the main purpose of a cover letter? A cover letter is a summary, a professional summary of what you have explained in your CV. So it actually covers whatever information that is on your CV, right? Okay, cover letters is the easiest way to stand out from the crowd. It lets your employer to learn more about you, your personality, and gain insight as to why you are applying. As I've said, it's a descriptive summary of who you are, right? Your personality, your gain insight as why you are applying. That is the cover letter. Now, 45% of recruiters say that a lack of cover letter will result in a rejected CV. So you may really want the your cover letter matches your CV, because if your cover letter is not definite and descriptive as it should be, it will result into a rejected CV, right? So now let us look at building blocks for a great cover letter, right? And then these are the things that we're going to be looking into. Hi, hello, dear. So you may want to include your introduction, summarizing yourself, as I've mentioned. You may want to include problems besides the solution. And also you may like to put your relevant achievements and then sign off. Right. So block 1 says, you need to start strong. If you know the name of the person you are writing to, you can use it. Otherwise, you may use to whom it may concern, right? And then an introduction, you need to indicate who you are and what you do, or who you are or what you are interested in. What jobs are you applying for? Where have you heard about it? So these are the things that you need to include in your introduction. And then in the block of summarizing yourself, you need to describe what is important to you. What is important to you? What are you good at? What you enjoy? Why are you applying, right? And then block 4 explains why you are the right candidate for the job that you applied for. So you need to list the job description, the language used, company research, news and challenges in the industry, work and personal skills for the job. So you need to be able to meet all these requirements. You need to make sure that you are meeting the job description posted, the language used, the company search, did you do any background search about it, and work and the personal skills that you might have for the specific job that you're applying for. Right? And then you talk about the achievement. You are welcome to talk about the achievements. You can include your certification, your volunteering, your achievements, your languages, your skills, and the hobbies and interests. And then when you sign off, you can just indicate by saying, I'm honored to be considered for this position. I look forward to hearing from you, and please let me know if you would like any more information about me, many thanks. So basically, this is how you go about it when you're creating the cover letter. And then now I'm just gonna pause for the questions. Let me just go quickly to the comment sections. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Andiswa. No questions on my side. Thank you, guys. Okay, let us move to the further lesson. Now, I want you to tell me what are your next steps. My colleagues are gonna be sharing this link with you. And you may want to find us on these platforms. These are our handles. So we are available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And thank you so much for today. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the input and thank you for the participation as well. Okay. Sorry. Let me just quickly go back. Sorry about that. So the next topic that we're going to be looking to is how do you stay productive online, right? So we're going to be looking at how to set up your remote office, how to build a productive work environment, how to maintain and manage your well-being as an individual, right? On the comment section, I want you to tell me, how has COVID-19 impacted your role as an individual, right? So I want you to tell me, how has the COVID-19 impacted your role? Now, let us look at how to set up your remote office. One person can ask, what is a remote working? Remote working is a working style that allows professionals to work outside of the traditional office environment, and it is based on the concept that the work does not need to be done in a specific place to be executed successfully. So work remotely, it means that you are able to work freely wherever you are. It doesn't need a traditional office. It doesn't need you to travel. So you can work wherever you are, right? Basically, that's what it means to work remotely. Now, let us look, where can people work remotely? You can work remotely at home. For some employers, working from home is the best option, giving you more flexibility with your home life, right? And then people that can work in coffee shop, remotely. Working in a public space like coffee shop, cafes, bars, and restaurants often boost productivity. So you can also work remotely in coffee shops, right? Also, people that can co-working space. Co-working space are a great option for freelancers and remote workers, but be wary that fee for dedicated desk can be costly, right? You can also work in a library, right? If you don't need to make calls, libraries are a great place to get your work done. And there are a lot of opportunities like tables and free Wi-Fi. So these are the places where people, they can work remotely. So guys, on the comment section, I would like you to tell me, what do you currently need to work remotely? What can we use to work remotely? What can we use to work remotely? So let me just go and check the comment section. You're welcome, Heidi. So guys, I want you to tell me, what do you need to work remotely? Remember, working remotely, it means that you're not working on a traditional office. So basically, you will need your smart devices, including your cell phone, your laptops, your tablets, internet access, so that those are the things that you might need, right? So let us move to the next slide. So to work remotely, you will need a dedicated workspace, a space to separate work from home, right? So you need to have a specific space for you to work remotely. You need devices, as I've mentioned, technology that helps you to connect and collaborate to work remotely. Also, you will need a stable internet connection, right? So that you can be able to work efficiently. So now, how do you create your own workspace? You have to find a space inside your home where you feel more productive. So you may like to invest maybe a table and a chair, and then that's where you're gonna be working, right? So these are the things that you need to avoid. You need to avoid the bed or the couch, because immediately as you're working on bed, you fall asleep, right? And the couch, you can be lazy, so you may not be productive. You can set up a table and a chair, as I've mentioned. You need to make sure that the space is comfortable, right? And also you need to consider your posture, right? So it's very important so that you don't get tired easily. You just need to stand still, right? So the physical equipment that you might need, you may need a phone to work remotely. You may need a computer. You may need a notebook, right? And then you need to make sure that you get a stable power. To be productive, you have to get a stable power to charge your devices. So you need to make sure that your generating set is working. If not, try solar powered devices like inverters. If not, try power banks for devices, right? As we know that we are affected by load shedding, so you may like to have a power bank as an alternative, right? So that you can be able to stay on the line. Now, finding sufficient internet connection. How do I do that? You need to make sure that you choose the right ISP, you choose the right internet service provider, right? So you need to also consider a substitute or an alternative ISP. Can be either you using a Vodacom ISP, right? And then you may like to opt for telecom. I'm just making an example, right? So also, for you to find an internet connection, right, a sufficient internet connection, you need to make sure that you find the right router. You plug into the Wi-Fi, you test, and then you compare the internet speeds, right? So on the comment section, guys, I want you to tell me what the challenges of working remotely. What are the challenges that you are facing when you are working remotely? As we know that we have been on lockdown, a lot of people are working remotely. So what are the challenges that you have faced? Personally, I really find it so hard to work home because there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of disturbances, and so those are the challenges that I've faced to work remotely, So I want you to tell me, what do you think are the challenges that you face when working remotely on a comment section? So the challenges of working remotely can be loneliness, a lack of social interaction. So when you are working remotely, you can be lonely because now there's no interaction of your colleagues, have on a traditional office. You lack self-discipline, you lack self-discipline because now you know that, I'm at home, so I'm just going to work on this task on my pace, So there is no employee benefits, and it's really difficult to switch off, right? And so these are the challenges that you may face. Other people, they can say they're missing out, now because they're working remotely. So let us look at what are the benefits of working remote, or what are the benefits of working remotely, right? So I want you to tell me on the chat box, what are the benefits of remote working? Let me just go quickly there. Yes, thank you so much. Heidi, it's laptop, the devices, laptop internet connection, good. So much for that. And then Andy so is saying too much disturbances, correct, you're correct, right? So now I want you to tell me, what are the benefits of remote working? No traffic. Thank you, Heidi. That's correct. There's no traffic. Personally, for me, even though I hate to work at home, I can save a lot. Like I can save the money because I travel to work, I'm able to work on the job that I'm given, because now there's a length of time that I'm given because I'm working from home. So there's a lot of flexibility. So these are the benefits for me of working remotely. Right? So let us look at them. There's a flexibility. There is no communication. As I've said, there's no interaction between you and the colleagues. You get the time with your family, There's less distraction, and there is high. So you are able to be creative and think, And also there is a reduced overhead cost. As I've mentioned, that I'm also saving on the cost for traveling. There's greater productivity because now you are having a length of time, so you're able to think about a lot of things. So there is access to wider pool of talent. You may want, let me just say, you just gonna pause maybe for like an hour and want to learn how to play piano. So you may go to Google and then learn about that while you're still working at home, right? So there is improved employee retention. And then I'm just gonna pause for the questions, go to the chat box and then see your comments. Heidi is saying that the benefit of working from remotely is that there is no traffic. That is correct. Thank you. If you've got no questions, please indicate you've got no questions, or just say all clear. All right. While you're still putting your input and your concern on the chat box, let me just move to the next slide. Now, how to build a productive work environment. Why your work environment is important. The quality of your workspace is vital to productivity. You need to have a designated area. You need to find the right chair for you. As I've said, that you may like now, since you are working from home, you may like to invest, maybe buying a table and the right chair for you. It's very important so that you don't have pains, and you may like to also get a filing system to organize your life, right? Now, let us look at the stats. 40% of decrease in productivity due to workplace distractions, and 27% in errors. Now, tell me, how can you minimize the distractions? How can you minimize the distractions that you may have while you are working from home? How can you minimize them? Just drop the responses. Thank you. Heidi and Andy are saying all clear. How can you minimize your distractions? Let us look into them further. You may let others know that you are working, or you may let others know your working hours. Let us say you're working at home and you've got tasks that you need to do. You may like to tell your family that, you know what, guys, I'm working to this time, so please spare me some space and I don't want to be disturbed. And also, you can minimize the distractions by doing one thing at a time. And then you can also minimize the distractions by avoiding TV and household distractions. You may also want to put away all the pets. Also, it is very important as you are working at home. Remember, you've got loneliness, you've got a lot of things to think about, you've got a lot of things that you want to achieve. It is very important that you take regular breaks, right? So that you can be productive. So now, how can you improve productivity within the teams? So you need to do a project management. Remote team members need to be able to plan and collaborate on commitments, deliverables, and tasks. They also need to track the flow of work from start to finish, right? So there has to be some sort of a team communication that is developed even though you are working from home. So you will really want to track on how to work, on the given task. So now, these are the things that you may want to establish. You may establish a vision and deliverables. You may also want to establish a logistic for team communication. You may also want to promote visibility and transparency of all work. You may also want to track the quality and the status of the project. Also, you may also like to identify and address the bottlenecks, right? Let's move to the next slide. Now, we've got 70% of workplace mistakes are due to poor communication. So there's a lack of communication in the workplace, right? Now, in terms of general communication, we've got specific platforms that they help us to communicate better. We've got Google Hangouts, we've got Gmail, we've got HubSpot, and we've got Slack. So there has to be a need for strong communication. Strong communication is integral to business success. So the thing that you may like to include, you may email for more formal conversation. Maybe let us say you want to update your team about a certain thing, then you may want to send an email. You can also send instant messages on a platform for faster conversation. You can use Google Hangouts for that one. And also you may want to collaborate tools for project work. Now, one thing that you may like to do, you may want to set rules to communicate effectively. So in order for communication to be effective, you need to set rules. Rules are important. You need to communicate clearly, make sure that everyone gets the updates on the team. You need to think about the types of message and the context, and you need to respond promptly. Also, you need to set and role model the guidelines through your team, right? So let us look at some of the platforms that we can be able to do video call meetings and calls. So we've got video meetings and calls enables teams to communicate and collaborate in real time, right? So for the fact that you're at home, I'm at home, it doesn't mean that the work must stop or the communication must stop, but we can use this type of apps so that we can communicate and collaborate. So you will need to connect teams working remotely. You need to improve the levels of communication, and you will also want to boost the collaboration, right? So we've got Google Meet. It keeps your team connected with enterprise. Great video conferencing built on Google robust and secure global infrastructure. Meet is included in Google Suite and G Suite for education, right? So Google Meet can be used for education and also can be used for formal meetings. And Zoom. I'm sure all of us are familiar with Zoom because we have been using Zoom from last year. So Zoom is an application that can be downloaded either on your computer or your mobile devices. So you can request a demo or even download it for free if you may want to know how does it work. You can also use Zoom to host or join meetings. You can have about up to 100 people that can join an online class meeting in a free model, right? Now, we've got Microsoft Teams, other people that are comfortable with Microsoft Teams, of which is another platform that enables businesses to collaborate and communicate with teams members across the world. So here you can be able to create teams and channels to organize your department, utilize the chat and video call functions to boost the communication. Like if you want to keep the updates, so you may want to host a meeting, for your team. You can also share the documents and collaborate with. Okay, and also we've got Skype. With Skype, it's a video chat app. You are able to access to a variety of innovative features. You are able to immerse a full video screen. You are able to send chat invite to anyone, and you are able to make your background blur. Right. Now, how to run effective meetings. So these are the steps that we're going to be looking into how to run an effective meeting. You need to set agendas. You need to consider your tone of voice rather, and then you need to also encourage your members to use cameras so that you can be able to see if they are focused or not, and then you also need to be timely. Now, video conference etiquette, you need to stop the steps to run effective meetings. Prepare yourself. Preparation is very important. You need to dress appropriately. You need to be professional on the meeting. You can't wear your pajamas, guys. I know that you are working at home and it's comfortable and everything, but you need to dress appropriately. You need to consider your lighting. You need to consider your background, and also you need to consider your audio. Okay. Now, let us look at the top tips for collaborating effectively. You need to equip your team with the right tools. Like if you want to introduce them, it's either they use Microsoft Teams or Zoom or Google Meet. So you need to equip them with the right tools, right? And then you need to make a project management easier, right? Also, you may want to share the documents. You may want to make documents and share them easily and be accessible to everyone. Sorry about that. And also you may like to encourage collaboration within the departments. And also you need to prioritize company culture. So it is important to also stick into the company culture, right? Now, let us look at the final top tips for productivity. You need to always over-communicate. You communicate with your team regularly and keep them in the loop. You need to be disciplined. Remote working is not a vacation, not a paid leave, right? So it's not a vacation, it's still work. So you need to be disciplined. You need to have your tools ready for work. You also need to find your boost and use it. All right, I'm just gonna pause for questions that you might have. Let me just go quickly to the comment section just to see your input and everything. Okay, thank you so much, Andiswa. If you're working from home, you might want to put a sign in your door, correct? And then you also need to have a room where you are working at. Thank you so much for the input, Andiswa. Let us move to the next topic. Now, how to manage and maintain your well-being while you are working at home. Right? Why is it important? Why is it important to manage your well-being? It is very important to maintain your well-being so that you don't get sick, you don't get dragged and exhausted because of the workload while you are still at home, right? So it is important to maintain your well-being because it impacts the overall health. It impacts your overall health. It leads to a greater productivity. It increases your resilience. It also boosts your morale and levels of happiness. So what can you do to maintain your well-being? You may want to go for a walk. You may want to maybe go to the sea, maybe just for a couple of hours, and then you come back and then you work, right? Now, avoid overworking, as I was saying. Avoid overworking. Take regular breaks. It is very important to set up reminders to take breaks. Be clear with your team when you are leaving. It's very important. Communication is the key. Turn off the notification when one is on the break. You need to schedule in an activity like taking a walk, riding a bike, or going to the gym at the end of the day, right? So be ready for the culture shift. To help you embrace the shift, consider the following. You need to trust your overall performance. You need to rethink the concept of work. You need to also understand your commitment, and you need to be patient with yourself because you don't want to overwork yourself and exhaust yourself, right? Now, let us look at ways to maintain or to manage your well-being. You need to exercise regularly. view your mental health as a serious physical health. You need to check in with your manager or team. You need to separate your professional and the personal life. Also, you need to organize in-person social meetup, right? Now, I'm just gonna pause for the questions and the inputs that you might have. Okay, Ayoliso, how long will the session still be as the learners need to use public transport and has to leave? I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last slide that I've just shared with you guys now. So the session is actually, the session has actually ended. It has actually ended. If you really want to find us, these are the handles. You've got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thank you so much for the participation. Really appreciated it. And the input, the session is really done. So tomorrow, one of my colleagues, Williams, is going to be taking through the session for tomorrow. Thank you so much for the participation and the contribution. I really appreciate them. So have a lovely evening, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.